Hi friends, I'm Jeffy G. Here we are just after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And if you're a musician, you were probably inundated with ads on plugins to buy. Bundled software, DAWs, special effects. And some of the pricing was the best you see all year. So it's very tempting to spend a lot of money on the sales. But what happens after Black Friday? Well, I'd like to believe we all sit down, analyze what we've bought, and it adds inspiration to our creative output. Now we've got new things to try, new tools to make our composition process and workflow that much better. But I kind of have my doubts. I think a lot of people get caught up in buying all these plugins and virtual instruments and tools, hoping that that's going to create the inspiration that they've been missing. And really, I don't think it's a substitute. You really have to focus on your core ability. Does it depend on software and loops and samples? Or is it your ears and what you hear and your vision of creating a new sound or a new song? So let's talk a little bit about how to put these things to work. I own Izotope Nectar 3 Plus, and it's a great tool. I use it on vocals, but the whole move into these Izotope apps is a big move, really, because you're taking advantage of quasi-AI, these one-button solutions, which I think are great. And I have Ozone 10. And I have some of their other Element products. So I was thinking maybe it's time now to make the big move. The cheapest way to do that for me is this Crossgrade from any paid Izotope product, because I have a couple. It was $372 to get the Music Production Suite 6. I think it's good value. Remember that my main objective was I have Ozone 10 and I have Nectar 3 Plus. So what do I get by making the move? Well, I get Ozone 11 Advanced, and I don't have Ozone 10 Advanced, I just have Ozone 10. So moving up to the Advanced Ozone 11 would be a positive move. Nectar 4 Advanced, that is the equivalent to Nectar 3 Plus. Guitar Rig 7 Pro. Well, I have Guitar Rig in my Complete 14 collection, but I don't think I have the latest, which is Guitar Rig 7 Pro. Neutron 4, I've tried the Element version of it. RX10 Standard, great. Neoverb, I already have. Turns out I got it as a free download when it first came out. Tonal Balance Control 2, don't know what it is. Insight 2, haven't looked at that. Vocal Synth 2, that was kind of on my wish list, something I was considering. Between Nectar 4, Ozone 11, and Vocal Synth 2, just those three things would probably be worth it for me. Looks like you get a couple more reverbs. Symphony 3D, Stratus 3D. I already have Auto Lens because when it first came out, it was free. And remember, that's the tool that lets you capture the tonal mix profile of a song, say a cover song, and then apply that to your mix when you're doing mastering with Ozone 11. So that becomes the big question, do you spend that money to get the 3 or 4 things that are important to you? So one of the things I did was I downloaded the Ozone 11 Advanced trial version and I played around with it, and it's amazing. Then the Nectar 4 Advanced, there was a couple new features in that product that I was looking for that are a bit better than what I do with Nectar 3 Plus. Guitar Rig Pro 7, well, I don't use Guitar Rig all that much, but lately there's been a lot of promotion of the idea of using Guitar Rig with non-guitar sounds. That appeals to me somewhat. Vocal Synth is really a toy. When it first came out, I was really thrilled with it, and I thought, wow, I got to get this. It looks like a fun thing to play around with. A lot of the other things that are there, I either already own or they came in Complete 14. And now that Native Instruments owns Izotope, there's a lot of cross-play between products that are included in different bundles. So this deal was top of mind, and I was, but for whatever reason, Black Friday came and went, and I did not buy this. And I'm happy to see that the price hasn't really gone up. Currently on sale for about 25% off. It's a good deal. I have Play Beat 3 Lite from Audiomodern. And it's pretty interesting. They gave it away when it first came out, and I've been contemplating whether to look at their other products and do a deeper dive. They do have a suite that includes all of these things. They call it their Random Creative Suite. And some of those products interest me. Loop Mix, when it came out, lots of hype. I wasn't sure that Loop Mix is substantially different really than Playbeat. They both play back samples, but Loop Mix lets you play around with those samples a little bit more. It just looks and feels similar to Playbeat, which is good. And then Chord Jam, it's another chord generating tool. And I already have Scalar and Captain Plugin Epic, and I've played around with many of these tools. So I wanted to see if Chord Jam was that different. They also have Riffer. They had come out with this Freezer product, which is new, and it's really for glitch programming and using those glitch type sounds, which isn't my sweet spot. These last three things, Gate Lab, Filter Step, and Panflow, I do already have those. As you can see, they're free downloads. When they first came out, they were free, and then they were charging for it, and now they're free again. So the question was, do I try to buy the complete suite? And I had this idea that I'd like to do some complete compositions just using the Audiomodern tools. The cheapest it was I think $116. Okay, it's back up to $179 after the Black Friday sales. And remember, this all started because I have Playbeat 3 Lite. One of the features of Playbeat 3, the full version that you don't get with Lite, is being able to add your own samples. With Playbeat, I'm using a lot of the presets and the delivered sound library, which is very good, by the way. But I wanted to be able to pull in my own samples, and I didn't pull the trigger on this one. So I may do it in the future, but not at the current price of $179. I'll wait for Audiomodern to have another sale. You know, in addition to the sales, there was a lot of freebies. So if you're like me, you probably downloaded 2 or 3 new things. And the reality is, after you try it out and you play around with it a bit, you decide whether it's part of your daily routine. Is it something you're going to use again, or is it something that was just interesting and you push it aside? The first plugin I got was from Waves Audio, much anticipated. It ended up being Silk, and it's designed to improve raw vocals. It has an adaptive EQ, or what you might think of as a fixer. It was very much hyped. Everybody downloaded it, and it's really an alternative to Soothe 2. It is designed specifically for vocals.
If you give me love, I'll give it back to you.
And if I turn on the effect, you can hear what change it makes.
If you give me love, I'll give it back to you. Satisfy my needs, I'll satisfy yours too.
I won't go through a full tutorial on how it works, and you don't hear a big change in this example, but you do have the ability to adapt the low, the mids, and the highs, and you can filter the bandwidth of your changes and the degree to which you have dynamics being placed into the new mix. The second thing I got is Memory from Cymatics. It's a random pitch modulation with a low-pass filter. There's no predefined pattern, so it's totally random. It creates different outcomes. Straightforward piano sample. Turn on Memory. You can see it adds wobble and some imperfections. Another Cymatics plugin that was free is Deja Vu. Turn it off so you can hear the sample I'm working with. The best way to describe Deja Vu is it's a melodics mangler from a sample or a track. It really uses the metaphor of tape speed style, but maintains the pitch. So turning it on. The results are a little bit unpredictable. It modifies the sample with new speed and sound, and then you might be using that for a breakdown or an intro, and you can throw full loops into it and just see what you get. The next freebie I got was Synthesizer Expander Module from Cherry Audio. This is a really nice analog 2-oscillator monophonic synth, not unlike many that are out there. In fact, Moog had just come out with Mariana for $49. This was free. It has really good sounds for that vintage 70s or 80s sound. It's great for bass, great for leads. Here's what it sounds like. Let's look for a bass sound. almost an FM sound. How about some leads? Pretty good. While on the topic of synths, I was looking for this lo-fi version of a Casio SK1, and I found this Dixon DB1 synth, and it's great. It has all the samples of an SK1, and it sounds just like it. It's got 32 presets. And there's some effects built in, reverb, saturation, width, and a filter. This is more convenient instead of using samples and making your own instrument. Another thing I grabbed is the DP06 Plus from Deputy, I think is the name of the company, if I'm saying that right. And this is a Roland 606 clone. It's a contact instrument, and it includes the 16-step sequencer you're familiar with and all the sounds of the Roland 606. It makes really nice use of the key switches and goes beyond the old 606 drum selector dial. And it has some unique features like this disrupt button for randomizing the sound. It comes with a bunch of presets. And you might be thinking, why would I need another 606 if I've got drum kits that already have those samples in them? And I would argue that this particular instrument just makes it easier to create new beats and to work within the confines of the Roland 606 sound set. I didn't buy much during Black Friday, but one of the things I couldn't pass up was this UJam Silk virtual guitar. I've seen this before, and it was $10 on Plug-in Boutique, so I couldn't resist. Makes great use of key switches for the chords. And it's got different patterns. Sounds really good. Quality sounds, great patterns, great use of key switches. Probably going to use that quite a bit. Along with that $10 purchase from Plug-in Boutique, I got Antares Choir for free. And I'm just going to show you what it does to a simple vocal loop.
If you give me love, I'll give it back to you.
Let's turn it on. See, you can add 4, 8, 16, or 32 voices. Then you can play with the vibrato, pitch, and timing.
If you give me love, I'll give it back to you. Satisfy my needs, I'll satisfy yours too.
If you increase the timing, there's a bigger gap between the original source sound and the choir sounds that it adds. With my Loop Cloud subscription, I get a new free plugin every month. And for December, it was this program called Repeater, which is a vintage modeled delay. In fact, it's 23 different delay units, emulations, all built into one. And it's a very clear layout. I've never seen this one before, and I thought, I don't need another delay. But I really do like the fact that there's 2 streams here, and you can control everything with these dials. It's all visual and very much in front of you. So if you listen to a sample of a piano, turn on the delay. Pretty tasty. Lots to choose from there. You can create your favorites, user presets that you save, all the basic stuff. One other thing I got is not really a free plugin as much as an upgrade. I do own a UA SD1 microphone, dynamic microphone, and they now deliver hemispheres, which is the plugin to do mic modeling. So it has some nice features. You can choose the mic that you want to model. You can control things like the filter. It has 4 levels of filtering. There's proximity, how close you are to the mic, and how your voice is reacting to the axis of your approach. And it's pretty good. And as you can see, I'm using this inside Logic. One of the issues I originally had was, that's great, but what if I want to use the mic modeling with something other than a DAW? As of November 7th, if you upgrade the UAD software to version 11, Hemispheres is built right in. So the plugin for the Apollo hardware is now available, and it's the same capabilities but built into console. So you can use it with pretty much any software. The fact that you can change microphones and get slightly different sounds is excellent, and you can play with the axis. You can hear my voice changing as I record things right now, and these different filter settings, fun to play around with. Basic microphone, and you can control the output as well. So that's an upgrade, but well worth it. You know, if we think ahead, there should be an uptick in the production of new musical material. You've got perhaps the winter season and the holidays to spend more time finishing those songs that you started, or adding the finishing touches to compositions that just needed that something extra. Does that mean we're going to see a flurry of new songs hitting the marketplace in January and February? Well, I hope so. Black Friday and Cyber Monday are like an early Christmas present to creators. If there were things that you were looking at all year long and waiting for the price to drop, that just happened. Now, regarding prices, there's this big question mark about, well, what happens after Christmas? Will these software vendors have sales again? Will the prices drop further? In my experience, prices don't necessarily go down, but new products come out in the new year. Some of the big vendors have the same type of sale that they had during Black Friday and Cyber Monday again in July. So there's at least 2 times of the year where you can get good deals. I guess my big question for you is, what did you buy during Black Friday or Cyber Monday? Have you tried it out? And is it changing the way you compose songs? If it is, leave me a comment. I want to hear about it. Again, I'm Jeffy G. Thanks for your input. See you in the next video.